Kia ora. St Matthew Society of Bellringers would like to welcome you to the iconic Church of St Matthew in the City, here in Tamaki Makaurau in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
How do bells ring?
There are three main ways to ring a bell and get it to sound. The simplest is a non-moving bell, hung dead as we call it, into which you strike a clapper or a hammer.
This is the type of mechanism generally used in clocks, such as the bell Big Ben and the Elizabeth Tower at Westminster in London, United Kingdom. This is also how carillons work, such as the National War Memorial in Wellington, New Zealand. Let's watch Big Ben ring as an example.
The second is to move the bell into the clapper. These bells will feature a lever of some sort, or a wheel attached to the headstock, which will allow the bell ringer to get the bell moving.
Examples of this can be found in chiming bells all around the world, especially in Europe, with the best examples coming from Catholic churches, such as this one in Nimitabel, New South Wales, Australia, or the bells of La Notre Dame de Paris. The bell normally strikes on one side, when the rope is at its highest point. To get the bell to strike consistently, the rope is checked sharply when it is at almost its highest point and is then pulled down smoothly when the rope has passed its high point. It is possible to chime several bells together in a fixed or changing sequence, but this is more difficult than chiming a single bell. It is hard to change the speed that each bell strikes. The last is the most complex. By adding a wheel to the bell, not only can a larger amount of bell movement be achieved using less physical work, but by balancing the bell upside down, the amount of time between each bell strike can be controlled.
The rope action of chiming with a wheel is similar to chiming with a lever, except that with a wheel you can control the length of time between strikes. This allows a band of bell ringers to ring in a defined order rather than the cacophony of the swinging chiming bells, and to change the order of the bells. This style of ringing evolved simultaneously in England and northern Italy. The style of ringing that developed in England is called change ringing, because it is possible for one to ring changes. This is the style of bell ringing found here at St Matthew's in the City in Auckland, New Zealand.
Each bell is attached to a beam known as a headstock. The headstock has bearings at each end which are attached to a frame so that the bell and its headstock are free to swing backwards and forwards. There is also a wheel attached to the headstock. The rope that the bell ringer rings is attached to this wheel. Inside the bell, there is a free swinging clapper that can strike the inside rim of the bell, causing it to sound. The clapper is designed so that it will strike the bell once each time the bell rotates, and this happens about 3/4 of the way through its rotation. It takes about 2 seconds for a bell to swing from mouth up position to mouth up position, and so there are about 2 seconds between successive blows of the clapper on the bell. However, by careful adjustments to the pull on the rope, the ringer can cause the bell to swing through a slightly smaller or slightly greater arc, but not more than a complete circle, and this in turn causes successive blows of the clapper to occur at a slightly quicker or slightly slower rate. The bell in this clip is in a mechanized frame, allowing it to be swung by motors rather than a person.
The smallest is number 1 and is called the treble. The heaviest is the tenor. At St Matthew in the City, we have 8 bells. If one bell ringer makes one stroke slightly slower, while the next bell ringer makes one stroke slightly quicker, they'll swap places. This is how we build up music.
How do bell ringers make music?
Bells don't make music as you would traditionally know it. Because of the long pause between each sound that each bell makes, it's not possible to make the same sound more than once in a row. To make music then, we maintain the same rhythm throughout and change the order of the bells.
This is an animation of 6 bells ringing in rounds, or a scale. We keep track of what we're doing in the different order by using algorithms. This is the algorithm for my favorite method, St. Simon's doubles. In this method, the 2, 3, 4, and 5 ring the same pattern but in a different order. The 1 is outside of that pattern, so that is why the 1 is marked in grey, and the 3 and the 4 are marked in blue and green. We don't actually move to different bells while we're ringing, and usually we don't leave the floor. It's time to meet the bells.
At St Matthew in the city, we have 8 bells. The smallest weighs 312 kilos, and the biggest a whopping 1,047 kilos. The total weight of the bells is 4,559 kilograms. That's 4.5 tons.
2 of our bells have names, named Peace and Joy respectively, although some of our neighbours may disagree. Change ringing started in the UK and has spread to many places around the world. This means that you can be part of a worldwide ringing family. We even have our own publications and organisations. So, is it hard to learn?
Yes and no. Learning to ring involves 2 kinds of skills: the motor skills to control the bell and the cognitive processes of learning the algorithms to be able to make music with others.
The motor skill is a physical challenge for bell ringers. The goal is to be able to make the bell sound exactly when you want it to when ringing with others, so that there is an even gap between each bell. We learn this a little slower here in New Zealand compared to places like the UK, as we can generally only practice this once or twice a week. The cognitive skill is a mental challenge for bell ringers. This is about learning and memorizing patterns and learning to recognize them and how they change while we're ringing. What does it all look like? Watch our next video to find out. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook while you're at it.